What if the key to unlocking a better life was hiding in your own freezer? Have you ever felt like you're stuck in an invisible loop of bad luck, drained energy, or constant setbacks? No matter what you do, whether it's practicing positive affirmations, setting goals, or even seeking external help, something seems to pull you back into the same old patterns. What if the problem wasn't you, but the energy you've been carrying? Energy is a powerful force, and just like a cluttered home can create stress, a cluttered energy field can block opportunities, relationships, and personal growth. This is where ancient wisdom steps in. Throughout history, great leaders, thinkers, and visionaries have understood the importance of energy purification. From the Roman emperors who performed elaborate cleansing rituals before making crucial decisions, to Buddhist monks who use salt to neutralize negative forces, there has always been a deep recognition that unseen energy can shape our reality. Today, you're about to learn how a simple yet powerful freezing salt ritual, used by spiritual practitioners for centuries, can help you break free from negativity, clear your path, and create space for transformation. This isn't magic, it's about intention, mindset, and taking back control over your own energy. Understanding negative energy, a Buddhist perspective. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is interconnected through energy. Every thought, word, and action carries a vibrational frequency. It affects not only our own state of mind, but also the environment around us. When we experience prolonged negativity, we are often unconsciously absorbing the energies of others. These can be jealousy, resentment, and even harmful intentions. Where does negative energy come from? Envy and the evil eye. The concept of the evil eye isn't just an ancient superstition. It's a psychological and energetic phenomenon recognized across cultures. Take Napoleon Bonaparte. For example, despite his genius on the battlefield, he was constantly surrounded by envious detractors. Rivals projected their resentment onto him. His ultimate downfall wasn't just strategic errors, but also the accumulated weight of the negativity and betrayals around him. Even in modern politics, we see similar patterns. Think of a leader like Barack Obama. No matter his achievements, he faced relentless opposition, criticism, and resentment. Some of it had no logical basis. When negativity is projected consistently, it can become an unseen force. This impacts personal and professional progress. Toxic environments. Energy accumulates in places where negativity thrives. Look at historical events. During the height of the Cold War, the White House and the Kremlin were filled with paranoia, mistrust, and constant political scheming. These environments weren't just stressful, they were breeding grounds for negative energy. The tension wasn't just in policies, but in the very air itself. It impacted the decision-making and well-being of those involved. On a personal level, workplaces can be the same. Steve Jobs, known for his perfectionism, created an intense work culture at Apple. Some employees thrived, while others were crushed under the weight of high expectations and criticism. The environment we exist in shapes our mental and emotional well-being. Prolonged exposure to toxic spaces drains energy and motivation. Past karmic debts. Karma is not a mystical punishment system. It's a law of cause and effect. Take historical figures like Richard Nixon. His Watergate scandal wasn't an isolated mistake. It was the culmination of years of ethical compromises and secrecy. His past actions created an energy that eventually caught up with him. This demonstrates how unresolved karma can manifest in real consequences. Buddhism teaches that past actions, whether from this life or previous ones, create energetic imprints. If left unchecked, these imprints can manifest as obstacles, repeated failures, or a sense of stagnation. That's why self-reflection and karmic cleansing are essential to progress. Self-generated negativity. Perhaps the most insidious source of negative energy is the one we create ourselves. Our doubts, insecurities, and limiting beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. Consider Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Had he succumbed to self-doubt, history would have been different. Contrast that with someone like Vincent van Gogh. He struggled with deep internal negativity. Despite his artistic genius, His own self-doubt and emotional turmoil led to a tragic life. The way we think about ourselves determines our trajectory. Unchecked negative beliefs can act as chains holding us back. How to counter negative energy? In Buddhism, we acknowledge that while we cannot control how others think or act, we can control how we cleanse and protect our own energy field. This is why practices like meditation, mindfulness, and energy purification rituals exist. Think of the Dalai Lama. Despite facing exile, he remains a beacon of peace, untouched by resentment. His ability to maintain positive energy is a testament to the power of self-regulation. The key lesson? Energy is contagious. The more we surround ourselves with negativity, the more we absorb it. But by consciously choosing practices that elevate our frequency, we can break free from unseen forces that hold us back. Just as great leaders and thinkers throughout history have done, we too can master our inner world and create a reality free from energetic burdens. The ancient power of salt in Buddhist rituals. Salt has been used in purification rituals for centuries, not just in Buddhist practices, but across cultures worldwide. In Buddhist temples, monks sprinkle salt at entrances. They also sprinkle it around altars to neutralize any lingering negative energy from visitors. This isn't just symbolic. Salt has a scientific basis as well. It's hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture along with the energy that clings to it. This same concept has been understood by great leaders throughout history. Take Emperor Meiji of Japan. He revived ancient Shinto purification rituals. Many of these included salt cleansing. The belief was that salt could dispel unwanted spirits and bring clarity to decision-making. Similarly, ancient Roman generals would sprinkle salt before major battles. They believed it warded off bad omens. Even in modern politics, we see a parallel. Winston Churchill, a deeply superstitious man, reportedly carried salt packets. He tossed some over his shoulder before entering high-stakes meetings. Why is salt so powerful? Salt's effectiveness lies in its molecular composition. It is crystalline in structure. Salt has the ability to absorb, store, and neutralize energy. This is why salt lamps and salt baths have gained popularity in holistic healing today. But in Buddhist tradition, salt isn't just about physical purification. It's about resetting energy fields and restoring balance. Consider Mahatma Gandhi. He led the famous Salt March in 1930. It wasn't just an act of civil disobedience. It was also a symbolic statement. Salt represented self-purification and independence. The idea that something so simple could be a source of spiritual strength is deeply ingrained in many cultures. This brings us to a powerful yet simple method to cleanse and shield yourself from harmful energies. The freezing salt ritual. This technique is designed to trap, isolate, and neutralize negativity before it has a chance to accumulate in your personal space. Think of it like a reset button for your energy field, much like how Franklin D. Roosevelt surrounded himself with advisors who acted as energy filters. They protected him from toxic influences. This ritual allows you to filter out negativity before it takes root in your life. By understanding the historical and spiritual power of salt, we can appreciate its role not just as a kitchen staple, but as a tool for spiritual resilience. Whether you are dealing with stress, anxiety, or unseen energy draining your motivation, salt, used wisely, can be a game changer. Step-by-step guide to the freezing salt ritual. This ritual is designed to help you release negativity, remove spiritual blockages, and restore balance. It is not a religious ritual, but rather a spiritual cleansing practice that anyone can do. Many powerful figures throughout history have had their own methods of energy purification, whether through meditation, isolation, or symbolic acts. This method harnesses the natural energy-absorbing properties of salt and the transformative power of intention. Materials needed: a coarse sea salt, used by ancient warriors before battle, and in royal palaces to purify spaces. Salt absorbs and neutralizes negative energy. Or a blank sheet of white paper, symbolizes a fresh start. Even Abraham Lincoln, known for his wisdom, would write his troubles down and then burn the paper as a symbolic release. A black pen represents transformation. Black is a color of closure, often used in powerful declarations and treaties. Or a sealable plastic bag keeps negativity contained, similar to how Franklin D. Roosevelt surrounded himself with advisors to filter out harmful influences. Water enhances purification. Water has been used in spiritual practices from the Ganges River in India to the baptismal fonts of Christianity. A freezer, the final step to freezing and neutralizing negative energy, stopping its influence over you. Instructions: write down your burdens. On the white paper, list everything weighing you down: fears, negative situations, toxic relationships, financial struggles, emotional burdens. This step mirrors the practices of great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, who journaled to externalize his worries and strategize solutions. Fold the paper 3 times. Each fold has meaning. The first fold represents breaking free from past struggles, much like George Washington cutting ties with British rule. The second fold protects the present, establishing a boundary, just as Queen Elizabeth I fortified England against external threats. The third fold opens a path to the future, akin to how John F. Kennedy envisioned a new frontier for America. Place the paper in the bag. Add a handful of salt into the plastic bag before sealing it tightly. This is your personal containment system. Much like how ancient temples and castles use salt to create a protective barrier against unseen forces, pour a few drops of water. Water activates the salt's purification process, just as monks use water in purification rites. Adding a few drops supercharges the ritual's effectiveness. Seal and freeze. Place the sealed bag in the freezer for 7 days. As it freezes, visualize all negativity becoming immobilized, unable to affect you anymore. This is the energetic equivalent of how Theodore Roosevelt tackled corruption, by stopping it cold, eliminating its hold over political systems. Disposal after 7 days. After 1 week, remove the bag and dispose of it far away from your home without opening it. This final step signifies complete release. Think of it like Julius Caesar crossing the Rubicon, an irreversible action that signifies transformation and commitment to a new path. This ritual is not about superstition. It is about psychology, energy, and symbolism. The greatest leaders in history have understood the power of mental and physical purification. You, too, can harness this practice to reclaim clarity, peace, and forward momentum in your life. The psychological and spiritual effects of the ritual. This ritual works on multiple levels. It affects the mind, spirit, and energy field. These effects have been recognized by great leaders, warriors, and thinkers throughout history. Psychological impact. Writing down your troubles externalizes them. This makes them feel more manageable. This is not just symbolic. It's a practice backed by psychology. Abraham Lincoln was known for writing letters he never sent. He used this technique to process anger and frustration. Similarly, Winston Churchill, during the darkest days of World War II, wrote extensively in his journals. This helped him clear his mind and strategize. When you put your worries on paper and seal them away, you are performing a mental exercise. This allows your brain to recognize the act of release. Steve Jobs believed in the power of simplifying mental clutter. This ritual is a perfect representation of that principle. The act of writing forces clarity and objectivity. It makes it easier to separate rational concerns from irrational fears. Spiritual impact. Physically isolating negativity tells your subconscious mind that the burden is no longer part of you. Throughout history, purification rituals have been used by some of the most powerful figures. Mahatma Gandhi regularly engaged in spiritual fasting. He also performed symbolic acts of release to cleanse his energy field. This reinforced his resilience in the face of adversity. The Dalai Lama has spoken about the importance of rituals. These rituals help reset one's internal state and maintain peace amidst chaos. In Buddhism, energy cleansing is a core part of spiritual discipline. When you take action to symbolically remove negativity, your mind accepts the transformation as real. This brings relief and renewal. Even in modern times, LeBron James has spoken about his mental preparation rituals before games. This proves that intentional acts, whether spiritual or physical, have a tangible impact on performance and well-being. Energetic impact. Salt and freezing act as energy binders. They stop negative vibrations from continuing their cycle. Ancient Chinese emperors would use salt in their palaces to ward off malevolent forces. Japanese samurai would purify themselves with salt before battle. They believed it cleansed their energy and protected them from unseen dangers. The idea that certain materials can trap and neutralize harmful forces is a belief that has spanned thousands of years. It is present in numerous civilizations. From a modern perspective, Elon Musk, despite his technological focus, has spoken about clearing negative energy in decision-making. He also avoids environments that stifle creativity, whether through physics or spirituality. Energy flow dictates success or failure. Salt has been proven across cultures to be a powerful neutralizer. Final thoughts on the impact. This ritual is not just an ancient superstition. It is a structured practice that influences the way we think, feel, and interact with the world. By externalizing negativity, reinforcing a sense of renewal, and energetically sealing away harmful influences, this practice taps into deep psychological and spiritual truths. These truths have guided some of the greatest minds in history. When practiced with intention, it can be a game changer. It restores clarity, peace, and forward momentum. Real-life example, a story of transformation. Take Sarah, a woman who had been struggling with endless obstacles. She had tried everything: affirmations, self-help books, even therapy. Yet nothing seemed to make a difference. She felt stuck, like a hamster on a wheel, running but never moving forward. It wasn't just bad luck. She was caught in an invisible energy cycle that seemed to pull her back every time she made progress. One day, she attended a Buddhist retreat. There, she learned about the freezing salt ritual. Desperate for change, she decided to give it a shot. It sounded almost too simple. Write down everything weighing her down, seal it in a bag with salt, and freeze it. But if history has taught us anything, it's that the simplest solutions often have the most profound impact. Think about Franklin D. Roosevelt. He had to reset his entire approach to leadership. He faced enormous personal and national challenges. He used deliberate, intentional shifts, just like this ritual, to break free from cycles of negativity. Sarah sat down that evening. She poured everything out onto a piece of paper: her frustrations, toxic relationships, career setbacks, self-doubt. She folded the paper 3 times, just like ancient traditions dictated. She placed it in a plastic bag with salt, added a few drops of water, sealed it, and put it in her freezer. The next few days were subtle, but something started shifting. Her workplace, once filled with gossip and passive-aggressive tension, began to feel lighter. Conversations that used to drain her suddenly felt more neutral. A boss who had overlooked her for promotions started taking notice. Relationships that had once drained her energy either transformed into something healthier or naturally faded away. Was it magic? Of course not. It was the power of intentional energy cleansing, something leaders, athletes, and visionaries have practiced in various forms throughout history. Michael Jordan was famous for his pre-game rituals to mentally reset and enter a flow state. Steve Jobs used Zen principles to declutter not only his mind but his entire creative process. Oprah Winfrey consistently speaks about clearing energy blockages as part of her personal growth journey. What Sarah did was no different. She made a conscious decision to remove negativity from her life. And once she did, opportunities that had been blocked for years started opening up. The lesson here? Sometimes, the energy we carry dictates the opportunities we receive. When you free yourself from past burdens, you create space for something new. And as history has shown, those who master their inner world often change the outer world around them. Now, it's your turn to take action. You've just seen how one simple practice can help realign energy, remove blockages, and shift your reality. The question is, are you ready to let go of what's been weighing you down? Maybe you've been feeling drained by toxic relationships, struggling with unexplained stress, or simply unable to move forward in life. What if something as simple as writing it down, sealing it with salt, and freezing it could symbolically and energetically release it from your life? You owe it to yourself to try. But transformation doesn't happen alone. It happens in community. I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried an energy cleansing ritual before? Have you noticed any shifts when you started actively clearing negativity from your life? Drop a comment below and share your experience. Your insights could be exactly what someone else needs to take their first step toward change. And if this resonated with you, hit the like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more transformational insights and practical spiritual tools. Remember, the moment you choose to release what no longer serves you, you create space for something greater.